What's up, YouTube? Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully you're out enjoying some beautiful weather wherever you are. Here in Alabama, it's starting to kind of feel like it may be getting close to coming up on spring, summer, maybe right around the corner somewhere. It's crazy, man. I mean, we're still having days where it was maybe 4 days ago, we had a frost warning. Like, it is the end, or damn near the end of May, and we having a frost warning? What is that? Don't hit me with the geoengineering, climate control line of thought right now. That's not why I said that. So please, if you one of those, they spray in the sky for rain, they spray in the sky to keep it cold. If that's what you thinking, I mean, I'm not arguing it. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I understand that argument, and I just have not seen sufficient evidence for me to believe it personally. All right. So don't get your panties in a knot and think that I'm coming after you because you believe that they're controlling the climate, and that's the reason that we're having this sporadic weather. I always want to know, who is this they too? Like, I hear people talking about this they controlling the weather, they controlling the climate, they trying to reduce the population, they. You're talking about the Bilderberg Society? We're talking about the Illuminati, we're talking about the government. We're talking, who are we talking about? The Black Pope? Who are we talking about here with this they? The 13 families that rule the world. All of these theories. I'm not going to call them conspiracy theories because that term is somewhat condescending. If you go back and look at when it was first created by the FBI, this conspiracy theory, it was not used in a good manner. It was used to kind of diminish the argument of some people in the eyes of the masses. So I won't use that term, but all of these theories and speculations to what's going on and who's controlling the world and everything, I just think that there has to be more evidence. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong in this case. You know me. When I think you're fucking wrong, I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. And I usually try to reserve that statement only when I have empirical evidence. Okay? When I know for a fact I've seen the evidence and I know you're wrong, that's usually the only time I'm gonna say that you're wrong. In this particular case, I'm just saying I don't agree necessarily. All right, it can be a whole lot of stuff going on, and I believe there's a whole lot of stuff going on that we don't know anything about. But I just have not bought into the 13 families that rule the world and all of this kind of stuff. The evidence is just too flimsy, and it's too many holes in the supposed evidence for me to get behind that. So, I think every now and then we should be allowed to vent. Every now and then we should be able to just do a video where we really don't have a particular subject matter. We just want to rant. Just ramble on about stuff. And I can't help but think about cosmic consciousness. If you understand what I'm saying, let me know in the comments. Don't wait and do it. Go ahead right now. Hit the comment and let me know if you understand what I'm talking about when I say cosmic consciousness. If you don't, just simply type I don't. All right. Cosmic consciousness. What do you know about it? So, when we talk about, maybe the Akashic Records would be something that will fall into this line of thought. You know, the Akashic Records may fit in there somehow, because people believe the Akashic Records is like this compendium of consciousness collected throughout the many eons of time on this earth, and maybe even beyond this earth, as if it's the historical record, the intellectual data that's been accumulated and aggregated from the consciousness of every living person in every sphere of life. Wherever life has been, this record has followed. And if you know about Thoth, some people say Thoth, or Tahuti, the scribe of the gods, who's constantly recording. This is where you get the idea in the Bible, in Revelation, where they talking about this book and names and the actions of men being recorded in this book. This comes from this story, Hermes Trismegistus, or Hermes the thrice great, you know, which is Thoth, who is Tahuti, just different names in different cultures for the same being. You know, recording this information, so it's Thoth, or is that what we get this idea for Thoth or Tahuti from this Akashic record that's been meticulously recorded and transported with us wherever we emerge on whatever sphere, whatever plane that we arrive to. You know, maybe that is one of the examples that can help clarify what I mean when I'm talking about cosmic consciousness. As if consciousness supersedes individuality, and in essence, consciousness defies individuality. If every person was tapped into the same stream of data flow, then is it factual or accurate to say that we are in fact individuals? And I know some of my subscribers, the few that I have, some of my subscribers who've been rolling with me since day one, don't necessarily subscribe to the belief in universal oneness. And I'm not talking about like a pantheistic oneness, whereas God is in all things, and in essence, all things are God. I'm not talking about that necessarily, but I'm saying, picture this. If everybody on the planet had Charter Spectrum for their internet service provider, all right, just go with me here. Everybody on the planet had the same internet service provider. we're all tapping into the same stream of data. In other words, the signal, in a sense, is being sent from the same source. But there'll be multiple towers depending on your geographical location, and a specific tower may be transmitting the signal to your location, but the tower is receiving its signal from the source. So we may all be getting information from a different tower, but the source of that information is the same. And now we break it down even further and say, well, it's the router, the modem, whatever, in the home that creates an access point for us to tap into the signal, the data coming from the tower to our location, which is in essence a regurgitation or a duplicate of the data coming from the original source that feeds the tower. So we're all tapped into the same flow of information. So does that, can we then say accurately, my internet is different from your internet because my internet comes from this tower, yours comes from that one, even though the towers are getting their information from the same source, and that information is being transmitted from the source to different towers, and from the towers is transmitted to your access point in your home. You get what I'm saying? Let me know in the comment section. Don't wait. Hit that button. Go on down there. Comment. Let me know. Because I don't want to confuse you, but if we're getting the same consciousness, or we're tapping into the same consciousness, if the source of consciousness is the same, then aren't we one? Because the body and the brain only house consciousness and those corresponding organs that are controlled by consciousness. So if the body is just a vehicle to transport and protect, to carry consciousness, if the body is just a courier of consciousness, and consciousness stems from one source, then is there such thing as individuality, or is that its cosmic consciousness which makes us one? And I don't necessarily buy into the argument that only one race has this consciousness. All right, when we get into superiority complexes, regardless of who's claiming the affirmative, who's claiming to be superior, whether it was the Nazis, whether it's white supremacists, whether it's black supremacists, whether it's yellow, brown, or red supremacists, it really doesn't matter. Whoever is claiming superiority, they then have to fabricate, manufacture justification for that supposed, alleged, assumed superiority over everybody else. So now you have to say, I'm going to speak from the black perspective, since I'm black. I'll speak from the black perspective. So we have to look now at the black race and say we're superior to white people because. And now we have to find what makes us superior. Physically, we're superior. We dominate every sport. So we're more athletic, more powerful, built more reliably, more durable, more sturdy. And on top of that, we have melanin. And white people don't have melanin. So we have melanin. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, 666, the mark of the beast. The Bible was actually condemning the black man from the beginning to the end because they knew it was going to be a carbon-based being that emerged on this scene and wreaked havoc over the world. And now we go into this diatribe about what makes us superior. But when we look back through the annals of time, we condemn the white race when they did the same thing back in the 1800s, 1900s. We condemn them for doing it because they tried to use science and say we're superior to the black race. They're backwards people. They're savages. They're beasts. We're superior intellectually. They cannot learn. They're incapable of being educated. They cannot be civil. All of this stuff that they started saying to try to justify why they were superior. And they fabricated most of their argument, and it's been scientifically debunked because it has to be fabricated whenever you take the affirmative stance of superiority. So what I'm saying is every race, every group that emerges and claims superiority over another group in this search for individuality has to then fabricate, manufacture, alter, revise, edit information, history, science in order to support their assumed superiority over another group. And I know you'll say, well, you know, nature is pre-coded so that only the best survives. Okay, I hear you. So why are we all still here? Animals included, plants included, humans, every race included. Why are we still here? Is it because what is here is the best nature has to offer up until this point? Because we know nature goes through these downloaded upgrades and stuff from time to time, where things shift and turn and evolve and transform, and new and better species emerge. So the evidence, if we go with that line of reasoning, I'm not saying it is or is not factual. I'm saying if we follow that train of thought, we have to come to the conclusion that whatever survived up until this point is the best. And so how can anything that exists now claim superiority over something else that exists if nature is predisposed to only allowing the best to remain? So I look at it because I believe that plants are conscious. When we talk about consciousness, we have to include within that the subconscious. When we talk about a set, a SAR, we have to also talk about Set Typhon. We have to talk about Set. When you talk about Cain, you have to talk about Abel. So when we talk about consciousness, we have to talk about the subconscious, because it's important. Consciousness, having consciousness, does not make you or suggest or indicate that everything you're doing you're aware of, because you possess consciousness. And we do things all the time that we are not aware of. You are consciously asleep at night. But while you are asleep, you breathe, you swallow, you blink, you move. Your body metabolizes things. There are processes that are taking place in the body. The creation of these neurotoxins or neurotransmitters, rather. All of these things are taking place in the body. And you're not telling it to do it. It's just doing it because the body houses consciousness. And subconsciously, your body is being directed to do everything necessary to protect consciousness. So what makes you any different from a tree, which may be in a perpetual state of subconscious existence, where everything that it is doing unaware, where it soaks in the sunlight, where it distributes the sunlight throughout itself, its leaves, branches, stems, and everything. It goes through photosynthesis. It creates the oxygen, releases oxygen into the air. It soaks in water. It pulls nutrients out of the soil. It's doing all of these things subconsciously the same way the body lives. The body maintains homeostasis or homeostasis. This balance. It maintains conditions that are suitable for life without being told consciously to do it. It just does it. And so what makes us any more superior than the tree or the dog or the dolphin or the spider or anything else that does what it does to sustain life? I just struggle with cosmic consciousness. It seems to me that there is more that binds us together than there are things that pulls us apart and differentiates us from the whole. I have all kinds of analogies. White people are a virus on the body of the earth, and like the body does with viruses, the body has to attack the virus in order to kill it before the virus destroys the body. And they use this analogy for white people and say they're a virus on the earth and the earth is trying to destroy them. That's why they can't be in the sunlight and all of this stuff that when you look at the poor analogies that they're trying to use, the metaphors, the similes, it don't add up. Like it does not add up. You know, they say, well, you got to explain white people can't be in the sun because they get skin cancer. You telling me a black person has never had skin cancer? Oh, no, but white people get it more. So you telling me that all white people get skin cancer? Well, no, they just get it more than... Okay, so what you saying don't make any damn sense. It don't add up. It sounds real cute when you try to fit this stuff together and make these analogies and stuff to clarify your point. But sometimes you too close to the forest to see the goddamn trees. Sometimes you're so bought into, invested in an idea that you can't see the flaws that are inherent within it because you in too deep. So I know I'm gonna get a lot of feedback from people, but you have to listen to what I'm saying before you say I agree or disagree, and this is why. Listen to what I'm saying. I have not made any assertions as being fact. What I'm simply doing is having dialogue, discourse. I'm trying to convey a point and saying what is more likely to be untrue and unsubstantiated. I haven't deemed any of it false. What I'm asking you to do is to think critically and analyze information before you start parroting information that you seen on a meme, that you saw on a video from your favorite conscious community personality. Because we get so wrapped up in personalities that we overlook the accuracy of the information that they present. Because I like this person, in my eyes, they can do no wrong. You know, they can say whatever. They can say they used to be a three-headed dragon. And I'm still going to believe everything they say. And I'm going to take up for them. And if you ever say anything against them, I'm coming after your ass. Instead of saying, I don't give a damn who say it. My responsibility is to take the information, research it, fact check it, and come to a conclusion based on evidence. To use logic and reason and science so that I believe more things that are true than I do things that are not true. So, hopefully, I gave you something to think on, and I gave you something to respond to. That comment section down there is still empty. I don't know why it's empty. You know, I don't know why. Probably because you ain't putting nothing down there. Put something in the comment section. Fill it out. 2, 3, 4 comments. Fill it up. Write a book in the comment section. Just do a separate comment for each chapter of the book, though. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Until next time, keep thinking, my friends.